Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Happy Thursday. I'm Tre Tailor, and you are watching Coping with Tre Tailor. Today, we're coping with family and purpose. Doctors Lawana, Stembridge, and Tawana Roberson are sisters. They're twins. They're doctors, and now owners of their own practice. We will hear their story next on Coping with Tre Tailor. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Look, and you even talk the same time. That twin life is going strong. We'll come right back with the doctors coming up next on Coping with Tre Tailor. But first, your COVID community updates. We talked to Emmanuel Durant yesterday about Take Back Day. This Saturday, you can safely dispose of your prescriptions. Visit takebackday.dea.gov to find out the location nearest you, or you can drop it off this Saturday or any Saturday. You can see the information on the screen about this Saturday's Take Back Day. The 16th annual Strides for Autism Walk is also this Saturday at the Community Park of Irmo. It will raise funds and awareness about the condition and challenges about autism. April is Autism Awareness Month. For more information, visit autism-society.org. SCDHEC has your most up-to-date list of times, dates, and location for COVID testing in and around South Carolina. Visit scdheck.gov for times, dates, and location. Throughout the show, we will be streaming at the bottom of the screen information about COVID testing, where you can get a COVID test. There'll be information about the 5 free rapid tests that you can get by logging on to covidtest.gov. COVID vaccines for veterans. We'll also be scrolling information about retail places in and around South Carolina that you can get a COVID vaccine test and N95 mask, including Kroger pharmacies, CVS, including those at the Target stores, Walgreens, who also offers N95 masks, the Brooklyn Baptist Church Vaccine Clinic in West Columbia, and also at the Comet Bus System. You can get a COVID vaccine at the Comet Bus System and also get a free ride to get your vaccine from the Comet. We'll also be sharing financial information, including the FEMA reimbursement for if you have a loved one that passed away, the SC Bar Association and SC Legal Services toll-free number and website for rental and mortgage help, Lexington County's Bill Assistance Program, SC Housing and Dominion Energy Bill Assistance Program, and then we'll also share some other resources, including SC Hopes from the South Carolina Department of Mental Health. They have a 24-hour assistance line. And then Brooklyn Lakeview Empowerment Center. They're holding registration for free diabetes management classes. That happens in June. And then several job opportunities are available. Again, we'll be scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That includes Spectrum and the City of Columbia. They have an open house every Wednesday from 8 until 11. And then yesterday, I mentioned to you that Lexington School District 2 is holding a career fair 4 to 6 next Tuesday, May 3rd at the Innovation Center in Casey. They have a $2,500 signing bonus. You can see on the screen, lexington2.org, where to register for that. A couple of more things I want to mention to you. I also mentioned this yesterday on the show. SC Plus program will be in Orangeburg tomorrow to offer rent and bill assistance for anyone 12 months behind on rent and utilities. That's back to March 2020. You can stop by the Orangeburg County Library from 10 until 5 tomorrow, this Friday. They'll help you apply for the funds. Again, you can call 803-336-3420 for more information. All of that information that I just mentioned to you will be scrolling at the bottom of the screen throughout the show. So as we always say, please post and share this information so we can get the message to the masses. Now, you are watching Coping with Tre Tailor. I'm Tre Tailor, and thank you so much for joining us. We are streaming live on the TailorMade production page on Facebook. That's the home of Coping with COVID, which airs on Wednesday, and then Coping with Tre Tailor that airs on Thursday and Friday. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Not only will you get notifications as to when we go live at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you'll also get all types of resources that you as a community member, whatever community you live in, can take advantage of. Now, we're also streaming live on the YouTube channel. Please go over there and hit the subscribe button. We would love for you to subscribe to the channel. We've been on the air for 2 years now, since March 2020. As soon as the pandemic hit. And so there's all types of content and resources on the YouTube channel there also. So please go over there and check that out. We also have a presence on Twitter and also on Instagram. So please, we would love for you to join our community. I want to say hi to Mitchell Peace Joy Jen. She says hello to everyone. Hey there, Mitchell. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you for commenting, and for you too. You can see the comment section. Please comment, and we will be so glad to give our guests your information. Today, we are coping with family and purpose. And coming up after the break, we're going to talk to Doctors Lawana Stembridge and Tawana Roberson. That's coming up next on Coping with Tre Tailor.
The Comet gives me a reliable source of transportation.
It's very convenient to me, and they have wonderful drivers.
It's clean and it builds community. It's fun to meet people.
It makes me feel like really independent. It's just fun.
It's always going to be there and it gets me everywhere I need to go.
We try to ride every single day. Comedy is our livelihood.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday life. But when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Aiken-Cochran. As Miss America, I know that taking care of yourself is important. Part of taking care of your health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is serious and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Visit inittogethersc.org. Take an online test to find out your risk and join the diabetes prevention program.
Thank you for rejoining us for Coping with Tre Tailor. I'm Tre Tailor. We are streaming live on the TailorMade production page on Facebook. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. We're also streaming live on the YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe button and check us out also on IG and on Twitter. I want to say hey to Kat Davis. She says, hello, cousins. I guess she's talking to the twins. And then she says hello to me. Hey there, Kat. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please post and share this information out, because today we're coping with family and purpose. Doctors Lawana Stembridge and Tawana Roberson join us. They are sisters. They are twins, as you can see, even though one has her glasses on and the other one left her glasses at home and in the car, I think he said. And now they are owners of their own practice, Life Expressions Health and Wellness Center. Ladies, first of all, congratulations on opening up your practice.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Let's talk first, before we talk about the practice. Let's talk about how you got there. Tell me about twin life. I've always wanted a twin. Should I be jealous because y'all are twins, or is it joy and pain, pleasure and pain?
There's a lot of joy. We are extremely close, and we've always been very close. And just growing up as twins is fun because even though we're twins, we're sisters. And sometimes I know growing up, I would forget that we're twins, and people are like, "Hey, it's two of y'all," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it is," you know. But you know, you always have somebody there, a best friend, you know, and so that's the beautiful part about it. Yeah.
Did you guys dress alike?
Oh, we did. We dressed alike until we were 21 years old.
Are you serious? Till you were 21?
Until we were 21. And I remember, I think this is where the first kind of little serious relationships came in. Not the joy, but the pain came in because I was like, I don't want to dress like you anymore. And she said, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to wear something else." And she was like, "Why don't you want to wear what I picked out?" And I was like, "I don't want to wear that. Let's just wear what we want to wear." And she was like, "Oh, okay, let's wear what we want to wear." And we did it, and we still ended up dressing like picking stuff like so it's like, it's okay. Yeah,
that's so funny. That's so funny. Even so, though you decided not to wear the same thing, you still looked similar in your clothes.
Still got the same clothes.
So interesting. So interesting.
Yeah. Like today, we are so similar. I did not see her this morning. The colors of our tops are different, but jeans are almost alike, sandals. I ended up getting my hair done, and she just kind of did hers at home, but it's so funny.
What about do you think you have a special bond, a closeness because you're twins? Do you feel when your sister is feeling something? Are you sad when she's sad? Or do you have that instinct when something's going on?
Absolutely, we do. And I think because we are so close and intuitive, we know. But we, you know, there's a joy and a pain in everything. So we learn how to deal with, okay, am I supposed to say something? Or, you know, because you know, as you grow and you mature, sometimes she may be going through something or I may be going through something, and we have to figure out when is a good time to discuss it and talk about it. And even just learning that healthy relationships, like it's okay to disagree. Our grandmother had part in raising us with our parents, and she would always tell us, don't you ever fight. Don't ever fight your sister. Take up for your sister. And so when there were disagreements that came along the road, they were a little funny at first because we didn't know how to deal with it. So, I mean, yeah, so those kind of things are happened and were good for us, and we've gotten through those. But I was going to say, and we do feel each other's pain. Oh, yeah. But just even beside that, I remember when she had her daughter, my son was already 2, I think, or maybe 3. And I started producing breast milk again.
Oh my God.
And I was like, every time I would hold my knee, she would just cry. And I'm like, she doesn't like me. And then I don't know, the strangest thing, I could, you know, when you breastfeed and you feel the milk let down. Yes. And I was like, oh, she wants to eat when she comes to me because I'm producing, I'm lactating again. And so she can smell that. And the same thing ended up happening to me because I was like, that is so weird. Yeah. And
that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because you were past lactation time. Yes. Your son was 3 years old.
I had been pushed him off. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. But we can't say that we've nursed each other's children. So we didn't try it. No. But we're very close. Yeah. It is a different special bond that a lot of people don't understand.
Right. Andrina King says, hi, so proud of you too, Dr. Stem and Dr. Rob. Hey there, Andrina. Thank you so much for watching. Please post and share this information out so we can get the message to the masses. Yeah, that's such an interesting bond. That's such an interesting bond. I wanted to mention though what you said, because you mentioned that when there were little disagreements or whatever, or you were concerned, you didn't know how to approach your sister because you didn't want to, I guess, cross the line. But I guess I would think, as not being a twin, you know, it would be okay because that's your sister.
Yeah, well, we know that now.
Respect her in that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we know that now. Yeah. It was a learned process because we just didn't say anything. Yeah. kind of kept it moving.
Doctors Lawana, Stembridge, and Tawana Roberson join us. They just recently opened up Life Expressions Health and Wellness Center. We're talking to them about the opening of their chiropractic clinic and also just about twin life. Were you guys often compared
to one another?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I know, my mom would say certain things like, I think I was always the sleepy child and I would always like my rest. And she would be like, oh, my nickname, am I allowed to say it online? Yeah. Koki, we know, Koki's going to be sleeping. Well, I'm the same way. When I'm tired, I get my rest. And, so not like in a, negative. You're smarter than the other, or you cheer better, or you dance better. No, I wouldn't say compared, in the family. I think maybe people who we connect with as friends will kind of correlate or, pick out different things that related to one another with them, but it wasn't a comparison. It's just like if I met you, if you and I connected, you're gonna like Tawana because we're similar, right? But you and I may connect on a different level. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah. Were you both always interested in medicine?
I would say absolutely. Yeah. I can remember when we probably 4 or 5, we had eye surgery. Oh yeah. And I remember want to tell them why? So we had strabismus, and strabismus is pretty much a wandering, or let's just say where the nerve innervation to the muscle is not as strong as it should be. So you might have a wandering eye or a lazy eye. So sometimes even now in our adulthood, they fixed it when we were younger because you could manipulate the muscle. But even as you get older and we're in school and straining and reading and using our eyes a lot, it'll go right back because it's a nerve issue. It's not really a muscle issue. So we ended up having that surgery. And I remember coming home and they had given us so much stuff. Do you remember that? Yeah. We had gowns and face masks and you name it. They had given us so much stuff and we had a field day in the house. And so I remember being young saying, I want to be a nurse. I want to take care of people. They took awesome care of us. Yeah, we pretty much always nurtured everybody, take care of everybody. And so I guess, our path led into chiropractic, and we'll speak on to that as well. But I mean, she knew that we were going to do something in the healthcare industry. We just didn't know what we were
what it was. And both of you had the eye surgery. Both of you guys had the wandering eye, so to speak.
We did in 1985. I think we were 4 actually. Yeah, because I had surgery a second time in 2006. And without this, you can kind of see in the pictures with our little glasses. And so we wore the glasses after that. Yeah, trying to find like records of what they did, and because it was so long ago, they couldn't find it, and so and it wasn't in South Carolina; it was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So even now, like I'm tired. You don't get enough rest. Your brain is a little sleepy. The eye is going to wander. I'm okay with it now. Like I'm fine with it. Yeah, but
and then the glasses. You guys were prescribed the glasses to strengthen your eyes.
That's right. So you don't strain them. Yes.
So you don't strain them. Right.
And you know what happens when you get a little bit older? Oh, I don't need these glasses. And so we went years without wearing our glasses.
Without wearing them. Yeah. And now you have to wear them again.
Absolutely.
That's so interesting. I was telling my grandson that because he's 6 and he has to wear glasses, and he asked me about it. I said, you know what, honey, if I had worn my glasses and not thrown them in the ditch after school, but you don't want to wear glasses as a kid, they weren't cool at the time, I wouldn't have had to wear them, so look, I'm glad I'm not the only one that
absolutely.
We're talking to twins and doctors, Lawana and Tawana. Lawana Stembridge, Tawana Roberson. They join us today on Coping with Tre Tailor. We are coping with family and purpose. They have recently opened the Life Expressions Health and Wellness Center. They've been telling us about their twin journey and that they were pretty much always interested in medicine. Mitchell Peace Joy Jen says, congratulations on your chiropractic office. I'll say thank you. I'm sure they're going to say thank you, Mitchell, so much for joining us. So when did you decide on chiropractic? Okay, you grew up, you had said, Tawana, you thought, okay, maybe I'll be a nurse, Was there ever any conversation, either separately or together, about what else you may want to do in the medical profession?
It's so funny because when we do life and we're doing life, we've been so blessed to do life together.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen. We don't even talk about it. It's like she knows, I know, and it just happens. We did our undergraduate at South Carolina State University, where we majored in biology. And during this phase, you have so many different professions that you can explore and go into. And we were exploring physical therapy. We had started shadowing a really well-known physical therapist down in Orangeburg and developing a relationship with him and seeking to apply at MUSC. And
both of you were doing this.
We were both doing it. Yeah, we were.
I just quit very early.
She did. She was like, "Yeah, nah, I don't know."
Like, yeah, no.
So she quit, and I kept going. Prayed about it, and one day, this young lady came into one of our classes. Do you remember what the class was?
It was it was Dr. Stoops' microbiology.
So it was a microbiology class, and she came in. Dr. Porter, Princess Porter, if she is watching, shout out to her. She is our angel. She came in, and at the time, she was a chiropractor, and she was doing a lot of the recruiting, like going to the HBCUs, because at the time there were not many African American chiropractors in the profession at all. And this was in 2003-ish, 2003. She came in, and I think because I heard free application, and we were spending money kind of, applying to graduate schools and paying these fees. And I heard free application. I was like, that's a no-brainer. It's not going to hurt to apply. And well, I tell you, it was such a beautiful process, because we applied to chiropractic school, and I think every odd that could be stacked up against you to say, no, you're not permitted, or you don't have this and don't have that. We were accepted before they even had all of our information, if that makes sense.
Really?
Oh yeah, and I knew that was God. I got an acceptance letter in the mail. I'll never forget. We stayed in a trailer in Orangeburg, and I got a letter in the mail, and I literally was just so blown away. Like, wow, I got accepted. And I didn't, and she didn't at the time. And that's so. But it's so hard. I don't remember. I'll let you tell it. Okay. But I was gonna make a statement that I was the twin that always got the no or second half.
Right.
Like, we didn't get it. Like, so if we tried out for cheer together, she would move forward and I wouldn't. So I was always the one like, second.
Who's the oldest?
Well, her.
Okay. But you're the tallest. But you're taller, right?
I have my seat up higher.
Okay. Okay. You're taller, you're older, right? Because I saw in the pictures on the website that somebody was or has had on heels. I don't know what happened.
Yes, she's taller. Lawana is definitely taller. But so when I got that acceptance letter, I said, God, I know this is you. I felt so honored and so privileged. And I said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. We went down to the school, and I was in love, and I absolutely love what I do. So tell the part about.
And that's what I was going to say. So you didn't get accepted. You both applied. You didn't get accepted.
I did get accepted, but what happened was I was celebrating her win. I went with her. They thought we were one person.
That's right.
Because my name, Lawana and Gail, Tawana and Gail. Our socials, our birthdays, everything is just like. So they thought it was just one person.
Wow.
So
they thought maybe they had gotten duplicate applications.
Yes. Yes. Yep. Yeah. That's what happened. So
isn't that amazing? So you go down there to help her.
Bring her in. I'm like, oh, she's in. Yeah. And then I ended up. They printed out the letter while I was there. I was like, good, cool. Yep.
Yeah. So you went in, and they who said, hey, it's two of us, not one of us. Did somebody from the school say, oh, it's two?
They quickly realized that, and I was like, yeah, I applied, but I didn't hear anything back. And that's kind of how that happened.
That is amazing. That is such a funny story. Lawana and Tawana join us. They are chiropractors. They just recently opened up their practice. They're sisters. They're twins. So why do people need chiropractic care? I think it's one of those things where people are they don't know a lot about, chiropractic prior chiropractic care. I guess that's what that's called, right?
Yes.
Chiropractic care. Yeah. What do people need to know about it, ladies?
You go ahead. They need to know that chiropractic is essential. And I think a lot of people, it's essential for education. It's essential because you need to understand and know your body. We teach about the body and how the organs function, and not just only your spine, but how does your spine and your nervous system and the muscles, how do they all correlate together? Right. What you look like on the inside. Sometimes just touching somebody from their spine, you can tell a lot about what's going on the inside of them. Because the nervous system literally correlates to every organ, every skin, all the tissues, all the muscles. We can pretty much tell what's going on with the patient based off of what they say. They can come in and say, doc, my back hurts a little bit, but I also have like itchy skin, and my urine is a little like foamy, and so we're asking questions. And what I love about what we do, we're able to educate them so that they can be healthy, not just inside our office, but outside of the office. Like, we want to see our patients, but we want to see them well, just like you would go to the dentist to get a cleaning, right? It's maintenance. That is that's why chiropractic is so important. It's not just about like even what you see online, and it's no disrespect to chiropractors out there who are on YouTube and infamous for like the cracking and clicking and all that.
Yeah.
Literally not what it's about at all. It's not about allowing someone to hear something just to make them think that something has been done for them. Have to educate them enough to know that, hey, you may not be a candidate for manual manipulation. Absolutely. But you're still getting taken care of this way. We can take care of you this way. Everybody's not going to be a candidate to hear a crack or a pop. But also hearing a crack or a pop doesn't mean that the mission has been accomplished as well.
Wow, that's interesting. Santana Alson said, she says, wow, I didn't know that. I need to make an appointment. Me too, Santana. So tell me, because I do think that's what we hear. It's just about aligning your back, or you've got a little back pain or something. But from what you guys are saying, there's so much more. So tell us about some of the conditions that people are experiencing that may have everything to do with them just being out of line or needing to go to a chiropractor. I've heard about headaches, sinus. What else?
Back pain, muscle pains. I was going to kind of piggyback on something that she said. Coming to a chiropractor also will help you to lessen the progression of certain diseases that happen, such as like degenerative disc disease. If the bones are, misplaced and they're not mobile like they should be, then of course that's going to cause injury. So yes, people have headaches that come in, back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, ankle pain, fibromyalgia. Yeah, patients with Parkinson's. We've seen patients with spinal canal stenosis, hip dysplasia.
If these are terms that y'all are not familiar with, just kind of like conditions where the hip could be a little bit stuck, or, multiple sclerosis. People pretty much have heard that, Parkinson's. We welcome everyone. You have a spine, you have a nervous system, we welcome you. It doesn't matter if you've had previous surgeries. A lot of people like to shy away, like, oh, I've already had these discs fused and I'm good to go. Well, you still have 30 other vertebrae that need attention. And it's just like, I know I'm referencing teeth a lot because those are kind of like what people can kind of see. But if you don't brush your teeth and you get something in between your teeth and you do not floss it, you will get a cavity.
Right.
When you get a cavity, it's going to eat away at the enamel in the tooth. And if you don't take care of it, it will eat away at the nerve. Y'all getting it, everybody? And if you eat away at that nerve, you start to have lots and lots and lots of pain. And so sometimes when that nerve pain is introduced, the tooth is already what? Not alive. It's dead. Same thing happens in our bodies as well. We have millions of spinal nerves that exit from the body, and they're innervating things on the inside of us. And if you're not taking care of an area and it's stuck there, then what happens? That area eventually kind of dies and wears away, and you're not getting that innervation as well as you should.
Wow, we're talking to twin doctors Lawana Stembridge and Tawana Roberson with Life Expressions Health and Wellness Center. So, ladies, when should you go to if what's going on in your body that would make you think, oh, I need to see a chiropractor? Obviously, when we have a car accident, that's the first thing we think. People say, oh, you need to see an accident. You got hit from behind. Right. What are some other things that may be going on with us that we need to think chiropractor as opposed to not thinking anything?
Yeah, I would say nothing at all. And that's the problem. Mm-hmm. People wait until there's something pain-based. Yeah. They wait until they feel pain to say, oh my goodness, let me go see a chiropractor. You go and see a chiropractor to get your maintenance and get your spine checked. Just like Dr. Stembridge said, for prevention, to make sure that there is not anything going on in your body. And you may say, hey, doc, I'm feeling great, but I'm having night sweats. Then I'm going to lead you up and to say, hey, have you spoken to your OBGYN? Or someone may say, oh, doc, I'm feeling fine, but my heart's racing in my sleep. And we're going to talk about those things, and we're going to get you to where you need to go. So again, it's all about education. The chiropractors are taught to educate, and I don't want people to miss that focus about what we do. We educate about the body. So I would say if there's nothing wrong with you, you can come. But also if you're having pain down your arm, this is something I've come in contact a lot with my patients. They may be having pain, down their arm, and pain down a left arm. That's a sign for what? Heart attack. And so they're like, oh my gosh, am I having a heart attack? And I'll end up speaking with the person and saying, hey, if you're having pain down your arm, the nerve comes from your neck. Let me see if anything is going on there. And 10 times out of 10, the person is like, I slept wonderful that night. Like I would have never known it was my neck, and so again, that's the preventative thing. Our mom had carpal tunnel surgery, but she also had neck surgery. So that's the thing. If you stick with the main focus of where is the origin of the disease coming from, which is from within, from, the spinal nerves, and fix that, we can all be happy.
Right. Tony T. Rob Roberson says, I'll be biased. Dr. Rob got my sinuses all the way right. Thanks, baby. That must be your husband.
You're welcome, honey. You're welcome.
You're welcome, honey.
Yeah. So as a patient like him, my husband, as soon as the seasons changed, like he would always get sinus infections. And so posture is another thing. So if a patient or a person has really terrible posture, it also affects their spine, which also affects the muscles and the nervous system as well. So we worked on not only his sinuses, but we worked on his posture because he's at a computer all day long. So he had the rounded, perfect. He had the rounded shoulder, arms always up. So when he let his arms down, this is exactly what it was like, all day long. So I'm like, you got to loosen up. So we worked on that for him. And I would say he's at about 80 to 90%, consistently now, whereas he would have a couple of sinus infections a year just with chiropractic care alone. That's not because I'm a super huge fan of health and nutrition as well. Everybody that knows me in the community knows that I'm going to try and, give you an omega, give you something, give you an oregano. Yes, you need to take that. And that is just with nothing at all. So just chiropractic care really, really did help to clear up his sinuses. And I'm convinced. And also with me having, if I could take it back a little bit, I had a lot of digestive issues growing up. Now, digestive issues, we kind of took care of the spine as well, but stress can cause a lot of issues in our body as well. So some people are just stressed out and they just need someone to come in and listen to what they have to say, touch them, and then they're feeling better. But even with chiropractic care and with just the help of the Lord, I've been able to not only kind of be healed, but be sustained from those issues. And so even entering into chiropractic school, they was like, okay, you've got a bout with colitis and Crohn's. We're going to go through your L2 and L3. And literally, I had a little scoliosis, which is a little curvature down here. I had an accident in high school where I was dropped. And I was dropped.
During cheerleading? See, and you wanted to be a cheerleader. You should have done it.
Honey, they dropped me, honey. They dropped me. And so from there, I believe that's where that injury came from, and just didn't know it. You know, nobody walks in randomly and say, hey, let me get an x-ray, you know, but going to school, you know, that was something that we were privileged to be able to have, and got those x-rays done. And they really took care of that area of my spine. And just from learning and having a healthy diet, that has helped me out tremendously.
Wow, that's great. So sinuses, so you really helped. I'm sure he was probably having some back pain, neck pains, going back to your husband, in addition to the sinus pain.
He used to do this little thing when he would be working, he would go, and his neck would say, and he was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, so maybe I should go ahead and start practicing on him, because if he has to do this to make his neck feel better, and honey, I don't know, you might want to get back in and tell the people, are you still doing that? He doesn't have to do it anymore. So even
look, girl, that was his mating call for you,
right? Yes, you know, but I don't even have, he doesn't have to get that relief anymore. And that's another thing I would like to we would like to educate people about, because there are some people who can manually manipulate their own bodies. And I'm not saying that there's not anything wrong with that, but you're not trained to do what you're doing. And so if you have to do this every day, if you have to take I can't even do it. That's crazy to me, but you have to do your stuff like this every day, then you need to come and see a chiropractor. So guys, if you're out there and you know how to manually manipulate yourself, but you find that you have to do it every day, that's indicative that you need to get yourself checked, that there's something more going on, and you could be, you know, manipulating it further away into the area of into the area of hot. And your body is cautioning you to say, hey, you know what? I don't really think you should be doing this. So that's another thing as well.
Yeah, twins, Dr. Lawana Stembridge, Dr. Stem, and Dr. Rob, as they're called affectionately, with Life Expressions Health and Wellness Center. They recently opened their practice at 2638 Two Notch Road, Mitchell, Peace, Georgia, and asked where the practice is. If people want to come, what do they do? Do they just call the practice? Can they visit your website? We're going to bring your website up. What should they do? What's the best approach if they are interested in coming to the practice?
It's just whatever they feel comfortable with. Some people are comfortable going online and scheduling their own appointment. And then you have some, you know, people, they're not comfortable with doing that. So they call the office and they speak with our assistant, and she makes the appointment for them. So it's just, you know, whatever the patient's comfortability is. Some people see like sign-ups and typing in, and they get stressed out about that. So they'd rather call. So either one, it's just whatever your preference is.
And what do people need to come prepared to tell you when they first come?
The truth. That's a great question.
The truth. That's a
because
really
we cannot get a whole idea of what's really going on if you're withholding something.
Right.
Because even if it's not a situation or a diagnosis that is chiropractic related, if I hear a certain buzzword, I'm like, okay, stop. Let's take it back. I'm thinking this, I'm thinking that. Yeah. So yeah, be able to tell the whole truth. I wanted to add too, because I love babies. You know, babies, they get colicky and, you know, they fussy. Babies can't talk. I love pregnant mommies. You know, they have a lot of pain and pressure, you know, in the pelvis. And there are a lot of techniques that help with relieving, you know, sciatic pain and just pelvic pressure when you're pregnant. And then there are techniques for adjustment to help babies with colic and reflux and all of those things, ear infections. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there, because I like to explain to my patients the physiological aspect of, you know, how an ear infection may start in an infant, what their anatomy looks like before it's fully developed. And this is why it's causing that. And this is why an adjustment could help.
Right. So Dr. Stem, how young can you be before you come to a chiropractor? According to you, you're saying baby.
I told Dr. Rob, as soon as my babies came out, check them. Because the birthing process is like a natural setting,
right?
Bone setting process. But I had two C-sections, so my children didn't get the opportunity to go through the birth canal and actual
to stretch them out.
They didn't get that.
That's such a good, yeah.
And then some babies have a traumatic birth where they start and it doesn't make it all the way, so as soon as they come out, bring them to me.
We have, not since the pandemic, but all of our friends, we appreciate y'all love and support, but call us on up. They have their babies and we're right there checking their little spines.
Absolutely.
Or even if not, some months after or weeks after, should I say.
Yeah.
So, really? Yeah. Wow. That's good to
know.
know.
It's correlated like, oh, let me check their upper cervical. I didn't know that. Yeah. So that's again where that education comes in.
Babies have postures too. You'll see a baby and you'll see they only hold their head when you put them in the car seat, like they hold their little head like that the entire time. Well, they need to get themselves checked. And so we've had great response with newborns and infants, and it's not always just visit after visit. It could be one visit and then we see you again in 3 or 4 weeks and then we see you again. So we've had great results with infants as well.
Wow, that's so interesting. I mean, you make such a good point. You're right. Most babies, I mean, especially little ones, their little necks are going all over the place. And especially if they are in a car seat, they are cocked to one side. Look, that hurts when we sleep wrong. When the kids are constantly like that. So that's so good to know. Now, I want to ask you this before we go, and we're over the time. So if you guys got to go to a patient, it's cool.
We're good. We're good.
Does insurance cover chiropractic care for adults and for children? I know that's something people, want to know.
It does.
It does.
Yes, it does. We as providers have to have contracts with the insurance companies. But it covers it.
Awesome.
Well.
All right. We are talking to Dr. Lawana Stembridge on the left, Dr. Tawana Roberson on the right. They're with Life Expressions Health and Wellness Center. They're twins. They're doctors. And recently, just a couple of weeks ago, you guys opened up your office right at 2638 Two Notch Road. It was such an innovative project because I think they're all African-American women in that complex. Is that correct?
Majority.
Yes.
Majority.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just such a great initiative and and it's right there because I drove by there this morning. Where DSS used to be across from the graveyard, right? Just to give people a Covenant Row. I'll say Covenant Road and Two Notch.
That's good because when people are like, well, where's the office? And I'm like, it's Two Notch Road. Well, where? And I'm like,
where?
Two Notch and Covenant. Okay. I'm like, I don't know what to say.
The graveyard.
Across from the graveyard. And they're like, oh, okay. All right.
You know where it is, right? That's the first thing I thought. Oh, okay, it's over here by the graveyard. Yeah. So please check these ladies out. Let them, you can see their email, their website address, and their phone number on the screen. Give them a call. Insurance is accepted, even as young as a child. If you're having any kind of issue, as both of these ladies said, give them a call, come in, and just see what they can do for you through chiropractic care. D'Angelo Stembridge, I'm sure it's she. Not to be outdone. These ladies and I'm so proud of them, especially the hottie, Dr. Stembridge from not to be outdone by Dr. Roberson.
You see how we do it in the Stembridge and the Roberson house.
Listen. And then Miss King says she has adjusted my son when he was only 4 weeks old. That's great. Thank you, Andrina. And Kat Davis said, thank you. Great show. Thank you, Kat. She says, Andrina says again, yes, it does. Thank goodness. Yeah, it just really helps. Ladies, thank you again so much for joining us. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And good luck. Congratulations on your new practice. And again, if you want more information, you can see their information on the screen. Dr. Tawana Roberson, Dr. Lawana Stembridge with Life Expressions Health and Wellness Center. Thank you, ladies, so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you. And thank you so much for all this. Has been a blessing. Thank you
for the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm coming to get my back and neck and sinuses, my whole body. Just
come on.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Andrina says a great interview. Thank you so much, all of you, so much for watching. Post and share this information out if you're just joining us so we can get the message to the masses and we can let the community know about these great services that these ladies are doing. Listen, if you have a story or initiative that can help someone cope with COVID, please email booking@copingwithtretailor@gmail.com or booking@copingwithtretailor. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtretailor@gmail.com. We would love for you to be a proud sponsor, just like SCDHEC, In It Together SC, and the South Carolina In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina. They sponsor Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with COVID. Other sponsors include the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office, Attorney Byron Gibson. They bring us No Justice, No Peace every second Thursday. Also, the Comet Bus System, Black Expo, coming to Columbia May 21st and 22nd. Anthony Anderson, Kiera Kiki Sheard, and so much more. The Taste of Black Expo, which is going to be that Friday. And of course, Expo is that Saturday. And then, of course, the Comet Bus System and Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to talk with a professor at MUSC about the need for African Americans and other ethnicities to participate in clinical trials. Dr. Marvella Ford joins us. She is Associate Director of Population Sciences and Cancer Disparities, and she's going to talk about the importance of increasing diversity in clinical trials. That's coming up tomorrow, right here on Coping with Tre Tailor. As usual, we leave you with a devotional reading. We've been reading Conversations with God. It's from Cheryl Williams with Agape Counseling and Training Services. I tell you this all the time because this is such a beautiful journal. These are a combination of her journal writings and also some scriptures, and we've been reading this here on Coping. This one says, "Remember, just for today, my child, I will give you your daily bread. Don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will take care of itself. It's not a time for you to trust me. It is time for you to trust me. Believe my word. Abraham," he says, "considered not his own body, but he considered my word. Don't allow the enemy to confuse you. You know I am not the author of confusion. My word is my word, and my word stands." God is telling us today to stand on his word, and if it's confusing, it ain't him. This is Conversations with God from Cheryl Mims Williams with Agape Counseling and Training Services. I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you again so much for joining us on Coping. Until the next time, we wish you peace, abundant blessings. Take care. God bless. And I'm still a masker. Don't forget to wear your mask, especially if you're going to be around a lot of people, over your nose and under your chin. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Coping with COVID. Updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdhec.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC. Healthy people, healthy communities. In It Together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council. Presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC, In It Together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.